Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to do a review for Area Men Lives VR, a game released on the Steam Store and the Meta Stores on May 12th, 2022 by developer Numinous Games. It's available for the HTC Vive, Valve Index, and the Oculus Rift. It normally retails for $20. I played this game through Viveport Infinity as a paid subscriber, and I tested this game out on the MetaQuest 2 using link cable. Area Men Lives is a narrative-driven game. You're basically the new DJ in town, and you're learning on the job, recording commercials, interviewing callers, and of course playing songs. And strange stuff happens as you're DJing, and you have to figure out what to do and how to guide the situation along. So this is a very narrative heavy experience, but there are some puzzles as well. And the frustrating part is that these are timed puzzles, and you only have a limited amount of time to figure out what you need to do. Otherwise, you have to go through all the narrative again. There is no way to skip through the dialogues, which can be very frustrating. Now, in defense of the developer, while the portions are played again, the dialogues are shortened, so they're not as long, and also you are given clues, so if you listen carefully, it should not be that difficult to figure out the puzzle. There's only a limited amount of objects that you can interact with, so it's also not that difficult to accidentally do the right thing. But again, I was not a fan of this mechanic. I found it frustrating to have to go through the same dialogues more than once with no ability to skip through them. Now, I spent around 4 or 5 hours on this game, and I got through about 6 different endings. And I say about because Viveport Infinity does not keep track of your time, but also as far as the endings, one of them is not really an ending like the other ones. It's just the record truck falling off the edge of a cliff if you don't choose where to go next. The 6 endings I got were all the endings I could possibly think of to get. They were all the locations shown on the map, but on the main menu it only shows 30% complete, so I don't really know what's going on there, but it feels like I've completed all the routes possible in the game. And there's really only one object left that I haven't used as far as progressing the story, so I am confused about why it's only showing 30%. Maybe if you do something that I just haven't thought of, it opens up more options in the game, but I've gone as far as I can go, and I really haven't seen any other videos on YouTube that go further than I have. Area Men Lives is running on the Unity engine. On my RTX 3080, I was getting mostly 90 frames per second. I did not see any options or settings available in the game. You only have nodal teleportation to a few limited areas, as well as snap rotation available. You have these monkey gloves, and you basically just use them as magnet hands to get objects into your hands at a distance. So most of the interactions are of the point and click variety. You do grab some items and you will swing a bat at some point, but that really is the extent of the interactions in this experience. Now, voice recognition is required in this game because you are going to read a few lines in this game. The game will then detect your speech and put it in a text bubble, but that's the extent of this interaction, and I personally found it was really unnecessary to the experience. Now, I did not experience any serious issues or bugs. The biggest issue was that one item disappeared, but luckily I didn't need to use that item, and when I did need to use it, it did spawn automatically. Another bug is that when the game would try to record your voice, it would stall the game for a few seconds before it would restart again. It was very immersive breaking. I did find the overall experience to be very janky, and several interactions were very hit and miss. For example, there is a part in this game, and this is a minor spoiler, where you have to throw pencils up on the ceiling, and I found that interaction to just not work right most of the time. Now, I do have mixed feelings about Area Men Lives. I did really enjoy the narrative. The narrative portion of this game was very weird, but in a very good way. It was very humorous. A lot of the jokes really hit. So as far as a weird, quirky comedy, it does work, and I definitely was interested in trying to reach all the endings possible in this game. However, the gameplay, the way the game was structured, was less than ideal. I was very frustrated during this experience, having to go through dialogue several times with no way to skip through it. I was frustrated with the short amount of time that you're given to come up with the right solution, and the puzzles themselves were just not very satisfying to solve because a lot of it was just, were you able to listen to the keyword or phrase that will solve the puzzle for you? So these puzzles are not complex. It really is, can you find the right word that was said that'll solve this puzzle for for you. I was also not a fan of the artwork or the visuals in this game. It looks like maybe the game was made in Quill. Low textures, low polygons, low resolution. It's just not a visually attractive game to look at in VR. The sound mix was also bad. The sound volumes were all over the place. Sometimes I could hear the voice actors clearly, other times I couldn't. Now, I will say this, all the voice actors did a great job in bringing this narrative to life, so kudos to them. Great writing, but the sound mix was just so bad, it really should not happen. So at the end of the day, I am going to recommend Area Man Lives because I do think the narrative here is very strong. It kind of has like a Firewatch meets Twin Peaks kind of vibe to it, and because I liked it so much, I put up with it and went on to the next ending. But that really should not be something that you think about when you finish one of the endings is, oh my god, do I want to put up with that again so that I can get a brand new storyline? And that is the problem with this experience. So if this game sounds interesting to you, you may want to wait for a patch that allows you to skip dialogue and that makes it a more smooth and polished experience. But even as is, I do recommend it, and if I have to rate it, I would give it a 6 out of 10. The narrative here is great, everything else is not. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my review for Area Man Lives. If you enjoyed my review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the video.
But now roost in Oregon in the millions and are considered a destructive pest species.
Okay, they're not pests. They are magnificent. Look, watch the murmuration. It looks like an arrow. Okay, hurry. We need to follow them. We need to drive in the direction that they are pointing.
Anyway, I didn't ask her out again, Alice wasn't a good fit. Haven't ever been ready to live my life for someone else. I admire it, though. She'll land on her feet. She's an amazing producer. It'll be pretty quiet here at the station without her notes everywhere. And the kid, too, keeping me on my toes. Maybe I could have monster-stood the little fella if she and Rick need me to.